Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Extreme Damage Roarin Allosaurus. Wow, is this figure massive? This is a really huge figure, especially when you see it up in person. Um, but yeah, I can't wait to get this out of the box because I already have a feeling that this is going to be the best Allosaurus ever. But here's a brief look at the packaging. It's kind of like the same as your normal Dominion packaging, except it's in a fiery red tone. Both sides of the packaging have the Dominion logo. And here on the back, it's kind of like your standard info. Shows you the Allosaurus and that it can roar with its mouth movements. It has double-sided damage, kind of like the Albertosaurus. You got some facts app info, and you got the other extreme damage figures, which I have the Velociraptor. I still have yet to get the other two. But yeah, that's basically it for the packaging. I can't wait to take a look at this, so let's take this out of the box. Alright, so here is the Allosaurus out of the box, and this thing is just amazing. I'm almost at a loss for words. This thing is awesome. And just like what I said before, I'm just gonna say that this is the best Allosaurus that Mattel has ever made. I'm gonna say that. I haven't even got into the review yet. But yeah, this thing is, I think it's just the size and the overall detail. Oh, no, scratch that. Probably mainly just the size that really catches my eye. And yes, the detail is awesome too. The detail is amazing, but I think the size is the only thing that really has this, is the only reason why this has caught people's attention. I don't even know where to even really start. I mean, I can't really talk about size yet, not until we get to size comparisons, but I guess we can kind of go over detail real quick. So yeah, the detail, the sculpt work on this Allosaurus is definitely a lot more sharp. It pops more and is more visible and present than all of the other Allosaurs that Mattel has released. Like, the other Allosauruses didn't really have a lot of scaled detail on the face, maybe a little bit on the jaw, but nowhere on the face. Like, look at this. You can see all these individual scales all over the lower jaw here, and all over the face, even on the crest. Look at that. This thing is just awesome, and the eyes is a bright yellow, so it pops more. But, you know, majority of this figure is pretty much the same, like, pose and overall design as all the others. Just the only difference is, you know, size and a little bit more added texturing and obviously some other things here and there, but we'll get to there the more we move on. But the head here is pretty much the same. The crests are actually slightly in a different direction, and I'll do that when I do comparisons. But yeah, the head is pretty much the same. Same with the teeth here. You know, the jaw here, it's pretty much the same, you know, jaw structure as the Roarin Allosaurus, which was the most recent one before this. So, you know, you got some nice detail there on like the skin flaps or gum flaps, or whatever you want to call those. The whole inside of the mouth is pink, which is good. You got that famous dark bluish tongue, which has a nice gloss to it. And yeah, all the Allosaurs that are movie inspired are usually have this same coloration. The only Allosaurus that did not have this was the Roarin one, which means that one is obviously not one from any movie, but anyone that is from a movie has this dark blue tongue, which only the juvenile from Fallen Kingdom had. The adult does not have it. But you know what? It's a cool little addition, and I like it, so I'm not going to complain about that. Teeth look good. So yeah, the mouth is nothing too special. It looks pretty good in the way it is. And you got, you know, the normal spikes here that the other ones had. But it doesn't just end right there. Not only you got like the famous row of spikes that any Allosaurus from Mattel has ever made, but they actually continue all the way to the tail. And they have like these cool little osteoderm type plating scales that are on the back that go all the way to the tip of the tail. So that is a huge plus for Mattel. This makes this Allosaurus way better than the other ones, and it's a lot more accurate to the movies because the Allosaurus does have all these platings on its back, as well as these spikes. So, you know, Mattel did a really good job with that. So yeah, look at that awesome amount of detail with these spikes or platings or osteoderms, whatever you shall call it. And then here on the neck, you got some really nice rough pebble texturing here, as well as some like skin wrinkles on the neck. And here on the arms, like I said, the entire body is covered in like awesome scales. So here are the arms. You got some nice detail on the hands there. Here you got on the underside, you got some more beautiful scale work. And here's the bottom of the feet, got some nice texturing there too. Toe claws are painted, so that's good. And here are the legs, like I said, more awesome detail going around there. Even here on the side here. So yeah, this Allosaurus is beautiful, especially when it comes to detail. Like look at that on the legs here. You get some nice muscle definition. You know, you can see the ribs right here. Other skin wrinkles, as if like the flesh is being pulled and flexed as it's moving, especially here on the leg. You got some nice little scale plating right here for the feet, typical for theropods. And then, you know, you got the dew claw here that's not painted. Would have been nice if it was, but, you know, Mattel hasn't really been doing that, so I really don't care if they did or not. But yeah, this Allosaurus is just amazing when it comes to detail. The coloration is good. It matches pretty much the Jurassic Park Allosaurus, you know, from Battle of Big Rock and now Dominion, with like the lightish beige color with like a dark bluish color on the top. So it's not as bright or vibrant as the Dino Rivals version. I actually prefer these colors better because it makes it look more natural. The more dark and pale it is, it makes it more natural. So if I put this in a realistic environment, this thing would fit in that environment. And I actually can't wait till I can start doing stuff like that. So and you know, along with the colors, like all of other or some of the other Mattel figures from this year, Mattel has had some little bits of color molded into the main plastic, which is kind of giving it like this marbling effect, where a lot of these other colors here are just kind of splotched or spread out, smeared in different places, which I love because, like I said, it gives it a realistic animal dirty like appearance to it. So you got some here on the jaw here, and you got some here on the body, you got some nice ones here on the leg, here on the tail, because, you know, not every dinosaur is gonna be nice and pretty and clean. It's gonna be all dirty, like it's, you know, it's surviving out in the world, so it's gonna be dirty. And you got some there and here, and you got some little bits across here. So yeah, it looks really good. I love how Mattel is doing that with the colors being mixed in with the plastic, which varies in every figure actually. So it's like you're getting a new individual every single time. But yeah, I like that, you know. But that to kind of like wrap that up, I love the colors, I love the sculpt, I love the cool little marbling effect going on there. So yeah, this Allosaurus is definitely a 10 out of 10 when it comes to, you know, detail and coloration. So before we get into articulation, we got the scan code here in case you want that. The only thing that really bothers me about this scan code in particular is that it looks like that it's not pushed down all the way, and I can press it as hard as I can and it won't go down. So it must be just so it's easier for kids to lift it up. But, you know, it's just a little nitpick. it's not going to distract me too much. Articulation wise, you got the normal arm movements here, back and forth, and they can pivot in and out, which you can make it rotate all the way around. I guess it would have been nice if the hand claws would have been painted, but you know, it is what it is. So you got that for the arms, and then for the legs, they can move pretty much 360. It locks in specific places. So they can move back and forth, and I believe, yep, they can pivot in and out. And then the ankles can also swivel, which is sometimes useful. And then the tail can rotate. This is the type of tail movement I like. I don't like the, the ferocious pack type tail movements because they just like twist. This one, they can go up and they can go down and side to side. So that's what this tail articulation can do, and it kind of rotates. I'm not gonna force it because it's kind of stiff, but I don't need to twist it anyway. But yeah, that's basically it for articulation. Now when it comes to action features, it's got two different action features here. You got a button and you got a little play feature here. So the button here, which actually is kind of like a soft rubber, you just press it and it makes some roaring sounds. So yeah, they're like the normal typical Allosaurus sounds, which is kind of unfortunate because Allosaurus has made sounds from Fallen Kingdom and Battle at Big Rock, and I'm assuming Dominion. So it's kind of unfortunate they didn't use the actual Allosaurus noises, because the noises in here were all just kind of reused other theropod noises, and I definitely heard a Spinosaurus roar in there somewhere. Let's see if I can find that again. Well, that one was Indominus. Some kind of theropod roar. Yep, that's the Spinosaurus roar. So, yeah, kind of unfortunate. They could definitely give Spinosaurus roars to at least their Spinosaurs, but not for an Allosaurus. But, I guess we're kind of stuck with that. But that's the first feature. The other one is a battle damage or an extreme damage feature, which is kind of similar to those of the battle damage Spinosaurus and Albertosaurus, which I'll compare those in a minute. But you basically push down this little skin flap here, folds down, and there you go. He's been wounded. His ribs are showing, which is cool. Very classic Jurassic. And then you can kind of lift up the ribs, and then you got some guts inside there, some soft innards, all the fleshy stuff inside the dinosaur's body, and it's actually made of a soft rubber, so you can squish it all you want. So that's pretty cool. And then you can close that back and close that, and there you go. He's all better. So yeah, this Allosaurus is really cool, and let's just get on to size comparisons, because I love the size on this guy. First off, we're gonna compare it to a normal human. Here we got Owen again. Yeah, that looks about right. That is a true Allosaurus size right there. This Allosaurus is definitely, at least adult-wise, much better in scale than their previous ones, which actually I'll bring out the other one. Here we got the normal sized Allosaurus that Mattel has been giving us. This one is actually based off of the juvenile Allosaurus from Fallen Kingdom, and this one I know for sure I'll definitely use and keep, just because it's actually a juvenile, it's not an adult, but you can definitely see the difference between them. But the colors are very well accurate in terms of film, and as you can see, I painted all the scratch marks in like a pink, which actually looks pretty cool in my opinion. Not sure if I'll do that with the adult. I guess I'll kind of have to wait and see. But yeah, this is the normal Allosaurus size. Not sure. Let's see if I can compare this a little bit better, or at least maybe I can make it stand a little better to kind of match. So yeah, no, it's not gonna stand, so I'll just kind of hold it. So this works for a juvenile, and this works for an adult. This is the perfect setup we have right here for an Allosaurus. So this is pretty cool. Juvenile and adult, so you can have mother and its child, probably. Other Allosaurs. So here is the very first adult Allosaurus we've gotten from Mattel, which is based off of the short film Battle at Big Rock. Now I will say I love the colors on this one. I love the blues on it, but I definitely love the darker tones on this one. Very more, I guess, natural or realistic. So yeah, this is what we got for an adult. This is much better. And this is the same size as the juvenile. So like how is this supposed to work? How is a juvenile all of a sudden stay the same size but yet change features? I don't know. Just a little nitpick there, but you know, this is the Battle of Big Rock version. Kind of no need for really this one because I have, you know, a much better improvement. And then here's the Allosaurus from the Dinoscape, or the Roar Attack Allosaurus from the Dinoscape toy line. And yeah, this one, you know, is a little bit of an improvement, at least probably in terms of the head and the stance. But look at the size is still small. It's the exact same size as this one. Yeah, so no, none of these even compare to their newer adult Allosaurus. And you can also see the difference in the crest, probably. This crest is kind of more pointing back, whereas this one kind of curves up, more up a little bit. So you got a little bit of a difference there. And obviously in terms of the scaling up there, this one does not have it except for the back. But yeah, really kind of no need for me to really hold on to these two, I guess. Just because these are not really adult Allosauruses anymore, because we've already gotten a better one. But, you know, it is what it is. So now we're going to compare it to other battle damaged dinosaurs that are similar to this Allosaurus. First up, we're probably going to do the biggest one, and that is the battle damage not Allosaurus, Spinosaurus. I'm not sure if the Spinosaurus had like a cool little action name. Yeah, you know what? I can't think about it. But if it does, I'll put the name of it on the screen. But there we got the Spinosaurus, and then here we have the battle damage Albertosaurus, which I do think the Albertosaurus was either the same size or at least slightly bigger than the Allosaurus. So there's something, you know, a little suspicious going on here. If that's the case, they might need to make another larger Albertosaurus. But, you know, that's for another time, and I can wait on that. But, yeah, so these are like the main battle damaged dinosaurs that have similar features. For example, here, Albertosaurus, press it down. Oh, and he's got the ribs. And then Allosaurus, and there is his ribs. And then for the Spinosaurus, you just pull down this little soft skin flap, and there's his ribs. So there you go, all three dinosaurs showing off their ribs. And then they all have their own little features after that. You know, Albertosaurus, you press it up, soft innards. This one you just, you know, you lift up. And it's got some soft innards as well. And then this one you pull down, and then it's got, you know, a cool little blood effect thing. So no soft innards in this one, but it's got some cool lifelike blood movements in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I guess this also counts as a size comparison because let's lift this up right now. You know, Allosaurus compared to a Spinosaurus and an Albertosaurus. So everyone, that's just about to wrap it up for this review. I really enjoy this Allosaurus. It is so much better than all of the other past releases from Mattel. Yeah, it's much more superior. It's more movie accurate. It's well sculpted, and the size is a big improvement. I hope Mattel improves the sizes of other dinosaurs. You know, like the Triceratops, which we still haven't gotten a large one, but you know, I'm not going to complain if we don't. But you know, there's always that to consider. But yeah, I can't wait to start, you know, taking pictures with this Allosaurus, you know, on later on this summer. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys again for the next one.